Well, hi everyone, it's Rev Dave from St. Margaret's Church, again for another thought for the week. And let me start off with an apology as I sit here in my conservatory reading this short story to you. It's bouncing down with rain, so if you pick up any background noise, that's what it is. So I call this thought, God has not forgotten your address. Now, it's not entirely mine, I must admit to that. I picked parts of it up on the internet and some other biblical websites that I do use and threaded something together that I hope you might enjoy. So every Saturday morning, Eleanor baked bread. She was well into her 70s, her hands marked with time, arthritis, and years of kneading dough. Her small white house always smelled of yeast and warmth by 7 a.m. Most people assumed she baked for her church bake sales or for her grandchildren who visited in the summer. But Eleanor baked for someone else. 3 houses down lived Daniel. He had moved in quietly the year before. He kept himself to himself, rarely waved, and never attended the neighborhood gatherings. Some said he was unfriendly, others said he was grieving, but no one really knew. One winter morning, Eleanor noticed Daniel struggling to shovel his driveway. Snow fell heavily, and he paused often, leaning on his shovel, as if the weight of more than snow pressed on him. Eleanor watched from her window. She could have said, someone younger will help him. She could have said, he's never spoken to me. She could have said, it's not my business. Instead, she remembered something she had read many times. Let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. And that's from the Gospel of John. She wrapped a loaf of fresh bread in a towel, slipped on her boots, and walked into the cold. When Daniel opened the door, surprise crossed his face. I noticed you might like something warm, she said gently, holding out the bread, and I thought perhaps I could help with the snow. He hesitated, then stepped aside. You don't have to do that. I know, she smiled. That's the beauty of it. They shoveled together in near silence. When they finished, Daniel spoke quietly. My wife used to bake bread every Saturday, he said. She passed away last year. Today would have been her birthday. Eleanor didn't rush to fill the silence. She simply said, then perhaps this loaf is perfectly timed. Tears welled in his eyes, not loud, dramatic tears, but the kind that come when a heart feels seen. One evening he said, you didn't just bring me bread that day. You reminded me that God hadn't forgotten my address. Well, sometimes the most powerful sermons are baked, wrapped in towels, and carried through the snow. Well, altering in my hope again that some of you might have found something in that. And I very much look forward to seeing you all again next week. So goodbye and God bless from St. Margaret's Church.